Uma, are you okay?
No.
Mimi, I know you've seen what you've seen, but...
Babe, do you know what?
I know,
I don't
know,
want you
but...
to even say sorry, because it's
no,
not
I know,
you.
but like, if there's anything that you want to know, or like...
honestly,
I know you're so
I don't
over
wanna
it,
know.
but...
It's interesting that given the fact that these boys or girls in the villa are quick to say so and so disrespected me, none of them, I think, understands fully the true meaning of the word disrespect. Because their disrespect for one another is shocking. It really is shocking. And you have these boys that are punching, that are with girls that they know that in the real world they would not stand a chance. People like Sean, Will, Ayo, sort of having the audacity to try and talk down to these girls. And I'm starting up. Ayo needs to go home. Ayo needs to go home. And someone needs to call out Jess for the crocodile tears, because every time she does something malicious behind Mimi's back, she then runs to Mimi's face and tries, oh, Mimi. Every time there's anything to do with Mimi, she wants to appear as though she's empathizing with Mimi. We are not buying it. I don't know who she's selling it to, but I am not buying it. I'm sick and tired. She put her legs on on his lap, and when he tried to remove them because the girls were looking, she kept pushing for her legs to stay there. And then she has the audacity to say, oh, he's disrespecting you. Please keep quiet. Now I've even lost my words. I'm so furious. Anyway, I digress. Hey there. Thanks for stopping by. It's your girl Valerie. Welcome to my channel. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe. We're trying to get to 2,000 subs, hopefully soon. Click the like button, turn on the notification bell for when I upload new videos, and definitely leave a comment. In this episode, I'll be reviewing Love Island UK, Season 11, Episode 30. To say he's disrespectful would mean that there was respect in the first place. And at this point, it doesn't look there was ever any respect at all. But anyway, so you have the islanders wake up, and it seems the islanders are rotating who sleeps outside. So in this episode, it was Ayo and Jess with Trey and Ale who slept outside. Mimi obviously slept on her own, and I think they're doing this just because there's not enough room, and besides, Mimi can't sleep outside on her own. That's not fair. And so everybody wakes up, and you can see that the girls are still upset. Uma and Matilda feel some type of way about what they were told by the girls when they met up. So the boys decide to make them breakfast, and it's like, breakfast won't fix everything. It will not fix everything. You know what you did. You need to apologize, wholeheartedly, and stop playing these stupid games of thinking you can say something and then make breakfast and kiss someone on the cheek and it's over and done with. Oh my god, they make me furious. Anyway, you have Ayo sitting with Jess. They're just chatting, and he's trying to sort of push her legs off his lap, and she keeps putting her legs on his lap. And it's like, why are you being disrespectful? Why do the two of you continue to play in Mimi's face? Is it because Mimi is not kicking off? This is why you feel so comfortable doing whatever nonsense you're doing. I didn't like that. You have, the boys, they have sort of a mini debrief with Will and Sean, just talking about how they feel in regards their connections with the girls and how they're going to get over whatever they're going through with the girls at the moment. Kieran obviously feels some type of way about Nicole, and I don't know why Kieran doesn't move on. And the audacity for, Ayo and Jess to continue to be cuddling and making out and doing whatever nonsense they're doing while Mimi is in their line of vision doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't make sense. Her silence doesn't mean she doesn't see what's happening. Her silence doesn't mean she's stupid. Some people believe action speaks louder than words. You don't need to be quarreling or saying anything, because at the end of the day, they're going to label her as an angry black woman. So she might as well just keep quiet. And I give Uma a lot of credit for coming to sort of get her and sort of take her inside, because she could tell she was breaking down, and she didn't want Mimi to be sitting there and crying while these two are busy in a little paradise of their own. And the surprising thing is, after doing all this nonsense and refusing to remove her legs off Ayo and flirting and talking about, oh, we are not yet boyfriend and girlfriend, she will run back to Mimi. Oh, Mimi, you're right. I really am sorry. Which is it? Are you sorry or are you not? Let your actions match your words. I don't like that. And Ayo, I saw someone on Twitter say, this guy, someone light skin, can sell him oxygen and he'll buy it. And I don't like it. I don't like it, because this girl, I don't think she's as into him as he thinks she is. And Ayo met love when he wasn't ready for it. Ayo met an amazing woman when he wasn't ready for her. And one day, his biggest relationship regret will be Mimi. and the way he treated Mimi, the day he learns about how to be in a mature, sort of respectful, loving, caring, compassionate, and loyal relationship, that will be his biggest regret, the way he played Mimi. Anyway, you have Sean have a conversation with Matilda. I don't get where Jess is coming from. I really don't. I don't get what she hopes to achieve by behaving the way she's trying to behave, in the sense that she's trying to sort of be an instigator in a relationship that has nothing to do with her. She said she wanted Hugo. Matilda stepped back. There's no need for her to be trying to create trouble in a couple just because she is not happy where she is. That's not necessary, and I really hate it. I'm not saying I'm a fan of Matilda, neither am I a fan of Sean, but at the end of the day, she needs to mind her own business. She then goes to sort of, after they have this back and forth, Matilda and Sean, she goes and she speaks to Uma, sort of saying to Uma, I don't know what to do because, this is what Sean has told me. And I don't get it either. I really don't. I think it's just them being messy. It seems Trey and Ali have decided to move on from whatever drama they had that we don't know about. And Uma and Mimi have come a long way. They have come a long way, because even their little conversation in the girls' area was sweet. It was sweet that at least this time Mimi is going through a lot. There's someone there to sort of hold her hand and say, I'm here for you. If you need me, just call me and I'll come. Because the last time she went through this mess, she was on her own, and it took Matilda sort of standing beside her. So I'm happy that she does have someone who's holding her hand and is consoling her, because this is hard. And if Love Island USA could bring in someone for Rob, they need to bring in someone for Mimi, because they know the viewers love Mimi. I think a lot of people would tune out if Mimi was sent home just because they didn't bring her someone. So Joey has been very calm since he coupled up with Jessie with a Y. I don't know what he sees, whether he really likes her or he sees his opportunities with her. I don't quite get it. Anyway, she receives a text message to say that it will be movie night, and you have Sean and Will panicking because they've been able to get away with it because they've told the girls what they wanted the girls to hear. Now the girls will actually get to see what actually took place, and everybody else is sort of thinking, oh, what will happen? And the audacity for Ayo to say, oh, you guys need to apologize. What about you? The way you've behaved towards Mimi. You can't force someone to be in love with you, but the way you've carried yourself and behaved as though you never knew Mimi is shocking. You need to apologize before movie night. Anyway, I digress. So everybody comes out there in their best, obviously. And so they, those that know what they did are anxious. First off, they start off with Joey Essex. I really want to know what went wrong between Joey and Grace, because they are so malicious and vindictive towards one another. It's shocking. I don't know whether it's because Joey expected Grace to be in a love triangle or not, because oh my god, the lack of respect for the two of them is shocking. Anyway, his is Essex and the city. So they show Joey, his shenanigans between Grace, having a conversation with Grace, and then taking, Jessie with a Y to the terrace and what happened in the terrace. And so Grace feels some type of way because she's saying, you told me one thing and then you went and told her something else. You told me you wouldn't disrespect me and you went and you disrespected me. And Joey's like, well, it's over and done with. At the end of the day, you did the same thing. You took me from Samantha and you kissed me immediately. And it's like, sugar, this is bad. This is why it's important to be careful who you give your energy to, because they can use it against you. Because she thought she had found her old flame, she was making out with him, she was doing all this and the other, only for him to dump her because everything was easy for him. He got access to what he wanted, and once he got that, he realized, nah, it's not for me. I want someone where I have to work for it. And this is why he's talking to her like that. And so it's sad that he's now throwing it in her face that she's an easy catch, and there's no way of coming back from that. I don't know how she can redeem herself, Grace, after that. Really, I think in her next relationship, she needs to be very cautious. Next up is Jess, OG Jess. Oh gosh, she gets on my nerves as well. So with Jess, hers is access Jess denied. They show everything. I'm happy that they showed how she spoke to Harriet, before Harriet left. And they've also shown some of her conversations in regards backstabbing people and making inappropriate remarks. The fact that she said she was getting the egg for Trey. And I like the fact that Trey said, horses for courses. And I had to look it up because apparently it's, different people are suited to different things. And that's it. I remember saying it before they went to Casa that this guy can't stand Jess, but he knows Jess is his ticket to stay in the villa. So he's going to try and tolerate her for as long as he can. And this is what he did. I'm surprised that all Matilda said was, you're a very conniving bee, and that was it. I would have expected people to drag her, because somebody needed to drag her, because Jess has been very rude and very disgusting. And for Trey to be dismissive when she tried to make a remark that, I don't deal with boys, I deal with men. And it's like, Hugo is going to leave you when you leave the villa. This is something that is going to happen to you. If he stays with you, it's because he wants the publicity that comes with being with you. We all thought Olivia was bad. You are down in the gutter, dirty, because of the way you behave towards other people and the lack of respect and accountability. That's the most shocking thing about you, Jess. So next up is Kieran. Kieran is Gladiator, and the producers are messy because they show the clip of him, talking to Omar, which vindicates Omar about, him wanting to have kissed Grace when in the challenge. And then they show the clip of him and Ellie meeting up and the conversation that Ellie said they had, which he had managed to deny. And this sets Nicole off. This set Nicole off for reasons best known to her, because I cannot justify that mess. I've said it before, I'll say it again. He needs to get rid of this girl. This girl is exhausting. He is dealing with all her trauma from her previous relationships. His shoulders are not that broad enough to carry all that weight. No man should have to put up with that. If that were my brother, if that were my child, if that were my dad, I would not want them to continue to put up with what Nicole is putting him through, because now she's kicking off. Oh, but you said you didn't, Grace, your heart rate was raised by Grace. You said you wanted to kiss Grace. You said, oh, please, we've been over this. You said you're over it. We've turned a new leaf. Now what? And then she had to bring in the Nicole stuff. I don't know why he continues to put up with her, whether he thinks that he's likely to win. If he stands next to a Welsh girl, the Welsh population is going to vote for him, or what he thinks doesn't make sense to me at all. I would rather he couple up with Mimi. There we go. Two of my favorite people in the villa. I'd rather he couple up with Mimi. He will be amazing. Yes, he's too young for Mimi, but I'd rather he couple up with Mimi and they would make it to the finale and win, because he doesn't deserve this mess that he's going through. He doesn't deserve it. Anyway, next up is Blade running. And Blade, they bring up all the comments he made about the guys. He spoke about Joey, saying Joey is not the sharpest tool in the toolbox. I did look up Joey after I saw a clip from After Sun, and he didn't do very well at his GCSEs. So maybe that's what Blade was talking about. And then he spoke about Will and Kieran. And for Joey to say, yeah, I'm faster than you, I can race you and stuff. And it's like, so you caught the racing bit. You didn't catch the education bit. For you, the first thing that came was racing. And then eventually you realize, oh, he also said you're not smart. And you're asking him, I'm smarter than you. I'm book smart. I'm street smart. And it's like, well, maybe go and fix your Wikipedia page then. Maybe go and fix your Wikipedia page, because your GCSE results that they posted are not the best. Maybe go and work on that, buddy, before you start opening your mouth and speaking. And I like the fact that Blade stood on business. He said what he said and he was ready to take responsibility for it. For Will to say, oh no, why me? Why were you slagging the boys and then coming here and being our mate? So what did you want him to do? To walk in and say, oh, I was slagging all of you, by the way. Anyway, let's be friends. No, he slagged you off because he was asked to name 3 people. He named 3 people. He gave a reason, and he actually explained why he picked each and every single one of you. So what is your problem? If he's wrong, prove him wrong, and let's keep it moving. And then Kieran was like, why did you pick me? And he was, well, it was a toss-up between you and Ayo. Ayo was like, but why am I in this? And everybody went, was he wrong though? Because Jess is sitting there, so he wasn't wrong about you. And for Kieran, I get where he's coming from, because he's saying, I'm 8 years older than Kieran. So he knows what he did when he was 21 years old. And this is why he's saying the man that Kieran is now is not going to be the same man that he is at 29. He's not. So you have to give him credit for that. I'm so sorry. I think there was a plane that just flew by. So you have to give him credit for that. At the end of the day, he's willing to own his crap. So it's up to the boys whether they want to forgive him or not. But he's going to stand on business. I didn't remember that he told Uma that Uma was his number one pick when he walked in. So when Uma turned him down, that's when he went for Grace, it seems. But hey, it is what it is. Next is the Matildas have eyes, and they show Matilda's conversations with Hugo and with Jake, I think was the other guy. And so both guys mentioned that this was a one-sided relationship, that Matilda was not as into him as he was into her, and the fact that he was punching. So for Joey to suddenly try and sort of chime in and say, oh, Sean, you're not punching. Sean is punching. He knows that. Even a 2-year-old can tell you that Sean is punching. Matilda is humoring him. Had Matilda found the type of guy that she's used to dating, she would have dropped him like a hot potato. So for him to start to try and feel, oh, I feel aggrieved because you didn't tell me about the many little details. Those are the little details that you saw. If there was anything worse than that, the producers would have shown it to you, love, because they want you to kick off. And for you to try and say the Casa Boys are throwing us under the bus, sadly, you have you misread the Casa Boys because they stood on business. Hugo and Blade were like, nah, we were asked questions. We were giving our opinions. If you came into Casa, how would you have behaved? Sean should never have come in as an OG guy. That's the long and short of it. He should never have come in as an OG guy. The producers brought him in as an answer to Bergie from last season of Love Island US. That's my opinion and I'm sticking to it. Next up is for your Ayos only. The audacity for Ayo to think he's man enough to breathe the same air with Mimi is shocking. The fact that he's had 2 light-skinned girls walk into the villa and sort of turn their heads and look at him slightly. Now he thinks he's the Izzy. Is shocking. It is shocking. He is not man enough to sort of be in a couple with either one of the 3 girls that he's tried to couple up with. He's not man enough for Uma. He's not man enough for Jess. And he is definitely punching way above his weight when it comes to Mimi, because Mimi is that girl that most guys want to be with. Mimi is calm, she's educated, she's beautiful, she's stunning, she's emotionally intelligent, she is articulate. And for him to think he has the nerve or the audacity to be mentioned in the same sentence as Mimi is shocking. This is shocking, and I'm so furious at how everything happened organically. Let's see how long his relationship with Jess will last on the outside. And the audacity for Jess to make everything to do with Mimi about it. Oh, Mimi, I'm sorry. Mimi, this has nothing to do with you, love. Sit back and wait your turn and wait to be called upon. She knows that Mimi is a fan favorite. She is trying to get in the good books of Mimi and in the good books of fans so that she can leave here a better person. No, we don't need to hear what you have to say. You need to pipe it down when it comes to Mimi. You need to stay clear of Mimi and leave her alone. And I give Mimi credit for saying, this is the closure that I needed. This man wasn't worth my time. He wasn't worth my tears. He wasn't worth my energy. For him to say, well, maybe you didn't see anyone that sparked your interest. This is why. It's not about that. She respected him enough to say, okay, I'm exploring a connection with someone. We've been together for 4 weeks. I need to stay loyal to him. And he didn't do the same. Within 10 minutes of the girls walking in, his head was turned. So he needs to stand on business, just as she is standing on business. He doesn't deserve her. It's time for him to go home. And we need a man for Mimi to walk into the villa. It's surprising how the islanders are always quick to talk about respect, and yet they don't know how to even write the word respect if it bit them in the backside. Because next up is Nicole, in Nicole of all things, and they show Nicole spazzing out about, the Eggy Buff game, and then they show Nicole complaining about Emma and everything else, and her calling Kieran a child. I said this before, I'll say this again. If you are prepared to date someone who's younger than them, then you please do not use their age as an excuse to sort of bring them down, because you chose it. So you're just as childish as they are because you stepped down to their level and you have to deal with it. And for her to lack accountability, to not be able to say, I'm sorry, I know that's one of your your sensitive points, I shouldn't have brought that up. For her to say, well, you said you walk on eggshells with me, and it's like, it's not that deep. It's not that deep, and this is not your moment. He's apologized before. This is your moment to own your crap up, stand on business and apologize. Don't be trying to make yourself the victim all the single time. I don't get why Kieran is still in a relationship with this girl. She doesn't deserve him. Yes, he's 21 years old. Nobody at 21, because all the girls he dates from now on are going to be having to carry the baggage of the trauma that Nicole has put him through, just as he is carrying the trauma that Nicole has been through. It's not fair. They need to end things. There's no amount of money that's worth you going through what Nicole is putting, Kieran through on national TV of all places. Anyway, then Sean is shown. It's from dusk till Sean. Well, what do I think? Sean is a jackass. I'm going to say that. Sean is a jackass, and he's punching and he doesn't realize it, and the audacity to stand there with his full chest, because now Matilda looks like a fool because she believed in Sean only to realize that actually Diamante was telling the truth. Diamante is now vindicated and she's not there to say, but I told you. And so for him to then say, oh, well, but you are only doing this because you were pied by Hugo. And it's like, so he is prepared to stand on what Jess told him and not the person that he's in a relationship with. So why is he in a relationship with her if he doesn't trust her? Why is she having to put up with this guy if she doesn't trust him? The two of them need to end it. I think people at some point need to choose self-respect over certain things, because no amount of money is worth your self-respect. And I think Matilda is better than this. She is way better than this, as much as I am not a fan of that couple. And I think, she's just humoring him, especially after the way he treated Omar. I'm not a fan of Sean, and this has just made things worse for me. Next up, it's Wild Will West. For me, it's the audacity for Will. It's the audacity for Will to think that he, on a normal day, would be able to sort of date someone like Uma. Doesn't make sense to me. He knows he's punching. He knows that in the real world, Uma would never even take a second look at him. So for him to sit there and say whatever he's saying with his full chest and be demeaning and not own up to what he did and apologize doesn't make sense. They show a clip of him and how he sort of flirted with Matilda, and how he flirted with Jess, and how he even flirted with Lucy. And for him to think, he told them all that, his type is petite and blonde. No offense, no weight shaming, but Lucy is not petite, so I do not get it. He should have just said, my type is blonde hair, and that's it. And that would have been enough. And so for him to be punching with someone like Mimi, Uma and not apologize doesn't make sense. When Uma is telling him that you have embarrassed me, and sadly, whatever he's done to Uma, this is her first relationship, is going to sort of dictate the next kind of relationships that she gets into. And whoever she dates in future has a lot of work to do to make up for the mess that he created, which is really sad. And I really feel sorry for the next guy, because he's got his work cut out for him. Anyway, you have, movie night, and everybody goes, the girls go and sort of try and sort of prepare or sort of straighten up and stuff. And Mimi and Uma are talking, and you have Jess running. Oh, Uma, are you okay? She is trying to be within that clique. She thinks that if she can get into that clique, then she'll get the hype of being one of them. This is my opinion. She is not sorry because she feels bad about what she did or what she said. She is trying to get into a clique so that she can get, cliques, or she can get endorsements once she leaves the villa. That's my opinion, and I'm sticking to it. I don't think she's apologizing because she feels empathy, or she feels like she did something wrong. I'm sorry, but I'm not buying it. So you have the islanders be told to come back to movie night, and it's revealed that, Mimi is safe because she is single. And you have Ayo go, oh my God, because he knows that he's in the doghouse. I want them to bring in a guy for Mimi. If they could bring someone on Love Island US for Rob, they can bring someone on Love Island UK for Mimi. Mimi deserves a chance. She deserves to be with someone who will appreciate the woman that she is. And I hope she gets a guy coming in who's all about her and who will stand on business. I wish they brought back Tyreek. I don't know whether they're still with Ella. I wish they would bring back Tyreek for Mimi. Just because I know Tyreek will rub that relationship in Ayo's face. Tyreek will make Ayo sweat, and so I wish they'd brought him back, but hey, it is what it is. Thanks guys for watching. Please don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe, and click the link in my video to watch my review from episode 29. Bye guys.